So the Knicks just signed Malcolm Brogdon. Brogdon can be huge off the Knicks bench. Malcolm Brogdon's going to give the Knicks bench a much-needed brain transplant. No more chaotic, free-for-all isolation possessions every other trip down the floor. Last season with Portland, he put up 15.7 points, 5.5 assists, and 3.8 rebounds per game. Those numbers are solid, but the advanced stats are where things get way more interesting. His true shooting percentage was 60.8%. That's not just good, that's elite. League average hovers around 58%, and Brogdon's basically laughing in his face. He shot 41.2% from 3 on over 5 attempts per game. That's not sometimes I get lucky shooting. That's cold, calculated, high volume accuracy. That kind of mark put him in the top 10% of all high volume shooters last season. Now put that next to his assist to turnover ratio, 3.38. That's 5.5 assists per game to only 1.6 turnovers. That's surgical. He's not wasting possessions, he's not throwing the ball into the fifth row, and he's not panicking under pressure. He's running the second unit like a steady, calm veteran with no interest in chaos. And speaking of running things, his assist percentage was 30.1. That means he created almost a third of his team's made baskets when he was on the floor. That's not just passing it around the perimeter. That's initiating, probing, kicking, and setting up teammates with real chances to score. He was generating 10.8 potential assists per game. That's not fluff, that's volume creation. When he's on the court, someone's getting a clean shot. He's not just a traffic cone on defense either. His defensive estimated plus-minus was plus 0.7, putting him in the 63rd percentile among point guards. That's not elite, but it's still clearly above average. He's not going to lock guys in a cage, but he's also not getting cooked every possession. And with McBride on the floor, Brogdon doesn't even need to be the primary stopper. The Knicks bench was a whole mess last season. It was chaos. Brogdon fixes that. His elite assist to turnover ratio and structured half-court offense are the exact opposite of what that bench was doing. He's the adult in the room. He'll calm everything down and make the bench minutes actually functional. And now, throw Jordan Clarkson into that mix. Clarkson is a scorer. He's always been a scorer. His career usage rate is 28.8%. He wants the ball, he wants to shoot, and he wants to get buckets. That's fine, as long as someone else is keeping the offense running. Brogdon's the perfect complement. When Clarkson's handling the ball, Brogdon becomes a floor spacer, hitting over 41% from 3. And when Clarkson's off ball, Brogdon's creating shots for him, helping him get easier looks than his usual off-the-dribble work. It's an actual basketball partnership, instead of two guys taking turns pretending to be the main character. McBride gets a bump too. He's a top-tier on-ball defender, landing in the 98th percentile in defensive plus-minus among combo guards last season. But now, he won't have to run any offense. With Brogdon handling the playmaking, McBride can do what he does best: hound the opposing ball handler and space the floor. He shot 40.0% from 3 in the playoffs last year. That's a real weapon when he's not also trying to set the table. Then there's the Brogdon and Mitchell Robinson pick and roll. That combo's going to be low-key dangerous. Brogdon ranked in the 74th percentile as a pick and roll scorer, averaging just under 1 point per possession. That's high-end production. Robinson's a monster on the roll. He led the league in offensive rebound percentage back in 2023 at 18.9%. So if Brogdon doesn't hit him clean, he's still probably grabbing the board and putting it back. And if the D collapses on the roll, Brogdon's vision means the kickout's coming fast, setting up wide open threes for guys like Clarkson, Yabusele, or even McBride. Speaking of Yabusele, he shot 39.4% from 3 in EuroLeague. That's legit. He's not just a big body out there clogging space. He's a legit shooter, and Brogdon's drive and kick ability is going to get him open looks all night. With 10.8 potential assists per game, Brogdon's not just racking up numbers. He's spreading touches to shooters in rhythm. Yabusele doesn't need to create off the dribble. He needs clean catch and shoot chances, and Brogdon provides exactly that. And look, the numbers don't lie. Last season, the Knicks bench was bottom 10 in the league in scoring. They couldn't generate anything consistent. They were leaning on ISO-heavy guards or random moments of chaos to survive those non-Brunson minutes. Now, they've added Brogdon, Clarkson, and Yabusele. That's 2 former Sixth Man of the Year winners and a EuroLeague first-team forward. That's a serious upgrade in scoring, efficiency, and overall talent. Brogdon's also flexible. He's not glued to the bench. His ability to play both on and off the ball means he can be out there with Brunson in closing lineups. He brings extra creation, extra spacing, and stability, all without stepping on Brunson's toes. That gives the coaching staff so many options. They're not boxed into one lineup or one style. And when the playoffs roll around, Brogdon's resume actually matters. He's played in 58 playoff games. That includes an NBA Finals run. He's not going to freak out in a high-pressure Game 6. He's not going to throw the ball away in the final minute. His shooting stays consistent, and his turnover rate stays low. That's what you need when possessions slow down and half-court execution becomes everything. His efficiency is absurd. 60.8% true shooting from the guard spot isn't normal. That means he's not forcing shots, not missing open looks, and not wasting opportunities. Pair that with 41.2% from deep, and you've got a guy who can space the floor and still get into the paint when needed. He's not one-dimensional. Then you add in his control. That assist-to-turnover ratio of 3.38 is elite. It's not just better than average. It's near the top of the league for secondary playmakers. He can run a unit without making constant mistakes. That's going to be huge for a Knicks bench that coughed up leads more often than they'd like to admit last year. And his ability to adapt is probably the most underrated part. He doesn't need to dominate the ball to be effective. He can score in limited touches. He can play off of volume, guys like Clarkson, and he can lead when others are off the floor. He fits into whatever's needed without taking anything off the table. The bottom line is the Knicks have completely rebuilt their bench around actual numbers, not just vibes. Brogdon's stats aren't fluff. They're consistent, proven, and exactly what this second unit needed. Now they've got structure, spacing, defense, and scoring. Coming off the bench, finally. But it's not only the bench, he's also going to help the stars. Malcolm Brogdon shot 38.7% from 3 across his career, and that number jumps even higher when you focus only on catch and shoot looks. Back in his 6th Man of the Year season with Boston, he knocked down 44.4% of his threes, leading the league. That kind of accuracy forces defense to stay glued to him on the perimeter. For Jalen Brunson, who thrives at getting downhill and using footwork in the mid-range, that means one less help defender sliding over to clog his lane. If someone cheats off Brogdon, it's basically handing him an open jumper, and that's a losing proposition. For Karl-Anthony Towns, who already bends defenses by shooting nearly 40% from deep himself, it's even more pressure. Whenever Towns sets up in the post, guards usually dig down to disrupt him, but with Brogdon spacing on the weak side, the dig defender is essentially stuck. If they help, Brogdon's wide open. If they don't, Towns plays one-on-one, which he consistently wins. Beyond the shooting, Brogdon's passing numbers jump off the page. He owns a career assist percentage of 25.7, and in Indiana during the 2021 to 2022 season, he averaged just under 6 assists per game as the lead guard. For Brunson, that's huge. Last year, he ranked 3rd in the league in total minutes, constantly carrying the load against top defenders. Brogdon can take that pressure off by initiating possessions himself, letting Brunson cut or relocate off the ball. That lightens the grind across the regular season and gives him extra juice late in games. For Towns, the connection with Brogdon in pick and roll or pick and pop action becomes deadly. Brogdon's comfortable scoring at all 3 levels, which means defenders have to fight over screens, leaving Towns wide open for quick pocket passes or step-out jumpers. Brogdon's ability to read the defense in the mid-range adds precision that younger guards on the roster couldn't consistently deliver. The physical profile matters too. Brogdon's listed at 6'5", with a wingspan stretching to 6'10.5" and a sturdy 229 pounds on his frame. That allows him to switch and defend guards, wings, and even some power forwards. This is critical for Brunson. At 6'2", he's often picked on by taller matchups. Brogdon can shoulder those tougher defensive assignments, keeping Brunson fresher and less exposed. It's not just about man defense either. The Knicks lean into a switch-heavy approach, and Brogdon's strength means he doesn't get bullied when matched against bigger players. He's also disciplined at staying in front, contesting without fouling, and rotating with timing. That steadiness keeps the second unit from collapsing when subs check in, something the Knicks have struggled with in the past. Another piece that stands out is how careful Brogdon is with the ball. His career assist-to-turnover ratio sits at 2.61, which is close to what Brunson posted at 2.89 last year. That efficiency is elite. He rarely forces plays that aren't there, which limits transition opportunities for the opponent. With Brunson and Towns on the floor alongside him, that means smoother ball movement and fewer wasted possessions. When he's running the bench group, he becomes the steady hand that gets everyone into sets, manages the shot clock, and delivers shots in rhythm. Guys like OG thrive when someone sets them up without turnovers stalling the offense. That reduces the chance of coughing up leads when the starters sit. What makes it even more valuable is how all these elements combine. Brogdon's elite three-point shooting keeps defenders honest. His ability to handle the ball means Brunson doesn't have to grind through every possession. His size and strength plug defensive holes, covering for Brunson against taller guards. And his low turnover play stabilizes the offense, no matter who he's paired with. It's not one single area. It's the combination of all of them that raises the floor and ceiling of the Knicks. Take spacing as an example. Towns is already stretching bigs beyond the arc with nearly 40% shooting. Add Brogdon on the wing at almost 40% as well, and defenses face a nightmare. If they collapse on Brunson's drive, that leaves 2 shooters hitting at a combined clip above league average. If they stick tight to the shooters, Brunson and Towns get clean one-on-one looks. Either way, the pressure forces mistake, and Brogdon capitalizes with quick recognition and passing. Then there's workload management. Brunson's usage was high last year, and even though he handled it, the toll adds up. Brogdon allows Brunson to shift into off-ball roles at times, using his catch-and-shoot efficiency instead of pounding the dribble every trip. The numbers prove he's more than capable in that secondary spot, and it means Brunson's not exhausted when the game's on the line. Towns benefits too, since Brogdon's chemistry and pick actions unlocks easier buckets without overcomplicating possessions. Defensively, Brogdon's switchability is more than just versatility on paper. It directly changes matchups for Brunson, cutting down the number of times he's targeted. Over the course of a full season, that's more energy saved, more consistent offensive production, and less exposure in mismatches. The numbers reflect his strength in holding his ground and contesting effectively, which fits perfectly. And the turnover piece, that's one of my favorites to look at. A 2.61 ratio across a career means he's making smart, efficient decisions with the ball every single year. For an offense that already features high usage stars, adding another player who doesn't waste possessions is crucial. It turns every trip down the floor into either a good shot for himself or a high percentage look for a teammate. That's the kind of thing that wins regular season games by not giving away easy runs to the opponent. When you stack it all together, Brogdon is basically a statistical multiplier for both Brunson and Towns. He stretches the floor, lessens the ball handling load, shields Brunson on defense, and protects possessions with low turnover. The data doesn't show any weak spot in those areas. That blend of shooting, passing, size, and control is exactly why he makes things easier for the stars. And let's be real, the Knicks needed this type of addition. The numbers make it clear. He's not only filling gaps, but enhancing what Brunson and Towns already do best. The shooting clears the lanes, the passing balances usage, the defensive versatility covers mismatches, and the careful ball handling keeps the offense steady. Every single stat points toward him being the piece that ties it together, making Brunson and Towns more dangerous than they've ever been. But it's crazy how efficient he is. Malcolm Brogdon's career is basically a highlight reel of efficiency numbers stacked one after the other, and those numbers are exactly what the Knicks needed heading into the 2026 season. He actually joined the exclusive 50-40-90 club in his 2022 to 2023 season, which means he shot at least 50% from the field, 40% from three, and 90% from the free throw line. That club is tiny, and Brogdon got there without being a low usage guy, which makes it even more valuable. When I look at his overall scoring metrics, his true shooting percentage jumps off the page. He's at 58.7% across his career, which edges above the league average of 58% from last season. In fact, his peak with Indiana during 2020 to 2021 sat at 63.1% on more than 16 shots per game. That's a ridiculous level of efficiency for someone creating that much offense. Even when he took home 6th Man of the Year in Portland in 2023 to 2024, he still clocked in at 60.8% true shooting. Then there's effective field goal percentage, which adjusts for three-point value. Brogdon sits at 53.8% across his career, consistently higher than average. His 57.7% mark in his 50-40-90 season and 56.3% the year after prove he sustains it across roles. Combine that with his career 38.7% shooting from deep on more than 4 attempts a night, and you've got a guard who stretches the floor every second he's on it. Drilling more than 43% on catch and shoot threes last season is where the Knicks really get their bang. Jalen Brunson drives and forces rotations, and now the kickout is going to someone who punishes defenders almost half the time. Brogdon also put up over 41% on above the break looks and 44.5% from the corners, which is exactly the type of spacing Karl Anthony Towns will need when operating inside. Efficiency doesn't stop at shooting. He's a career 87.7% free throw shooter, which means when he gets fouled, those points are banked. That's paired with a free throw rate above 0.5, meaning he consistently finds his way to the line relative to his shots. The Knicks didn't have that level of reliability at the guard spot outside of Brunson. Brogdon keeps the scoreboard moving without empty trips. Playmaking efficiency matters just as much, and Brogdon's career assist to turnover ratio lands at 2.73. That's 4.2 assists against 1.5 turnovers on average. Stack that against other stars, and it's impressive. Brunson was at 3.07 last season, Tyrese Halliburton was at 4.27, and Trae Young was at 2.63. Brogdon sits in elite company. It shows up even clearer in turnover percentage. His career rate of 11.6% is low, especially when you compare it to Luka Doncic's career 12.3%. For a player handling the ball as much as Brogdon has over the years, that's steady and reliable decision making. Now here's where it directly ties into the Knicks. Their offense cratered whenever Brunson sat. The numbers back that up, with the team's offensive rating plummeting to 106.8 without him last season, which would have ranked dead last in the league. That's brutal. Plugging in Brogdon's career 58.7% true shooting and his elite turnover control instantly changes that second unit. Brogdon wipes that weakness away. He can run the offense, score efficiently, and set up teammates without bleeding possessions. What makes him fit even cleaner is that he doesn't need the ball to be useful. That 43.8% catch and shoot clip slots next to Brunson perfectly. Brunson breaks down the defense, kicks it out, and now there's a knockdown shooter spacing the floor. When they share the court in closing lineups, the offense doesn't clog because Brogdon knows how to shift into an off-ball role seamlessly. That also means less pressure for Brunson to create every single possession, saving energy for the late minutes. The ripple effect on the second unit is massive. Jordan Clarkson is expected to be part of that group, and his career true shooting is around 53%. He's more of a microwave scorer than a facilitator, which often leads to forced shots. With Brogdon running the show, Clarkson can focus on what he does best without being pressed into playmaking. That could even raise Clarkson's efficiency. Mitchell Robinson benefits too, since Brogdon finished in the 74th percentile as a pick-and-roll ball handler last season, generating almost 1 point per possession. Robinson, who once led the entire league in offensive rebounding percentage, thrives as a roller. With Brogdon delivering lobs and dump-offs, Robinson's easy scoring chances will pile up. I keep going back to how low his turnover numbers are. When a bench unit is led by someone who rarely gives the ball away, the team protects leads. The Knicks lost chunks of games last year when their second unit bled points. Brogdon's calm decision-making and high efficiency eliminate that collapse. He'll get them into sets early, keep the ball moving, and generate clean looks. That steadiness transforms what was once their biggest weakness into a possible strength. And when you consider how the Knicks want to close games with multiple ball handlers on the floor, Brogdon fits that formula. He can run a possession himself or slide off to hit spot-up three. His blend of career numbers, 58.7 true shooting, 53.8 effective field goal, 38.7 from deep, 87.7 at the line, makes him one of the most efficient options they could put next to Brunson and Towns. His efficiency basically acts like a multiplier. Towns already spaces the floor with nearly 40% from three. Add Brogdon's near 40% alongside him, and defenses are pulled in two directions at once. If they double Towns, Brogdon punishes them. If they stick to Brogdon, Towns gets easier, one-on-one touches. If Brunson drives, both shooters create wide lanes. That's not theory. It's what the numbers guarantee. Looking at the advanced stats again, his ability to sustain elite efficiency across different roles is what stands out most. As a starter in Indiana, he handled high usage while posting a true shooting over 60%. As a bench leader in Boston and Portland, he maintained nearly the same. That adaptability is rare. The Knicks can use him however they want, running with the starters, anchoring the bench, or closing in crunch time. And the efficiency doesn't dip. Efficiency also builds trust with coaches. The guy simply plays mistake-free basketball. Put all of this together, and the picture is clear. Brogdon's career efficiency is not just an individual achievement, it's a team elevator. Every metric shows he lifts Brunson by lightening the load, lifts Towns by punishing doubles, and lifts the bench by stabilizing them. The Knicks didn't just add a solid veteran, they added one of the most efficient guards in the league. And the numbers prove he transforms their weakest areas into competitive advantages. And then there's his passing. Malcolm Brogdon's passing record across his career is built on volume, efficiency, and almost surgical ball security. And those qualities fit like puzzle pieces into what the Knicks needed heading into the 2026 season. Across his career, he's averaged 4.7 assists per game while holding a career assist percentage of 25.7. That means when he's on the floor, he's directly assisting on more than a quarter of his team's made field goals. For context, that's the type of passing responsibility typically reserved for full-time lead guards. Yet Brogdon has balanced it while playing both on and off the ball. His assist-to-turnover ratio of 2.88 is elite by any standard. In his Indiana days, during 2021 to 2022, he averaged 5.9 assists to only 2.1 turnover, right around that same ratio. That consistency is not a fluke, it's a defining trait. When you dig deeper, his passing out of the pick and roll stands out. During his 2021 to 2022 season as the primary ball handler, he ranked in the 78th percentile as a pick and roll operator, generating 0.97 points per possession when including passes. That shows not only could he create shots for himself, but he consistently turned those situations into high efficiency looks for his bigs. The pocket pass is one of his trademark, and it's not just about making the pass, but delivering it in the exact pocket where the rolling big can finish in rhythm. With Brogdon threading those bounce passes through traffic, it turns possessions into high percentage rim opportunity. Then there's his ability to collapse defenses with drives and kick the ball out. He's a career 50.2% shooter inside the arc, which forces defenders to step in when he attacks. That gravity opens shooters up. What separates Brogdon is that he drives with his head up, constantly surveying the floor. That allows him to spot corner shooters and spray the ball out for three. The Knicks already ranked second in corner three frequency last season, and now they've got another driver who can create those exact looks. Bridges, Josh Hart, and even Brunson himself when he's playing off the ball are going to thrive off those kickouts. His passing versatility goes beyond the basics. He makes advanced reads with accuracy, whether that's skipping the ball across the court to the weak side or hitting shooters in transition without slowing down the play. Those cross-court lasers punish defenses that overload one side against Brunson or Karl-Anthony Towns. If teams double the strong side, Brogdon can fire it over to the weak side corner shooter before the defense rotates in transition. Even though the Knicks play slower overall, Brogdon gives them an option to generate quick looks. He can grab a rebound and push it himself, finding a wing like OG streaking ahead or a trailer like Towns for a trailing three. That immediate decision-making adds efficiency to possessions that previously might have slowed down. For Brunson specifically, Brogdon's passing directly cuts down on workload. Brunson led the entire league in time of possession last season. That level of responsibility wears down anyone across 82 games and deep playoff runs. Brogdon's proven ability to initiate offense lets Brunson shift into off-ball situations more often. Brunson's career 37.6% three-point shooting makes him effective spotting up, and Brogdon's drive and kick or skip passing delivers those shots in rhythm. Fewer minutes of Brunson pounding the dribble means fresher legs when it matters most. On top of that, defenses can't sell out to blitz Brunson if swinging the ball to Brogdon means he'll instantly attack the 4-on-3 and find the open man. The numbers show he thrives in those reads without turning the ball over. For Karl-Anthony Towns, the passing synergy is almost tailor-made. Towns is a career 39.8% shooter from deep, one of the best shooting bigs the league has ever seen. Brogdon's ability to run pick and roll into pick and pop situations creates wide open jumpers for Towns. Because Brogdon is efficient enough to command defensive attention, big men can't simply sag off him. If they do, he scores. If they step up, it frees Towns to pop out for a clean catch and shoot three. Brogdon has shown season after season that he can make that pass on time and on target. Beyond that, his size at 6'5" lets him see over smaller defenders and deliver accurate entry passes into the post. When Towns seals his man deep, Brogdon won't miss that window. That's a subtle skill, but one that turns possessions into easy buckets. The Knicks struggled heavily when Brunson sat. Their offensive rating without him was 106.8, which would have ranked last in the entire league. With Brogdon leading those minutes, you'll plug in a player with a nearly 60% career true shooting, a 2.88 assist to turnover ratio, and a 25.7 assist percentage. That's an instant upgrade in stability. Brogdon turns what was a black hole into a functional offense. The synergy also extends to the second unit scorers. Jordan Clarkson, for example, has a career true shooting around 53%. He's better suited as a scoring option than a creator. With Brogdon running the offense, Clarkson can focus on attacking defenses without being forced into playmaking. That can bump up his efficiency. Mitchell Robinson, already dominant on the offensive glass, thrives as a lob target. Brogdon's 74th percentile ranking as a pick and roll ball handler last year shows he consistently generates nearly 1 point per possession in those situations. Those clean lobs or dump-offs will boost Robinson's easy scoring chances It's worth repeating that his passing isn't about highlight reels. He's not throwing no-look lasers just for show. The numbers prove he's a high IQ, low turnover orchestrator who values efficiency above flash. That's exactly what the Knicks lacked outside of Brunson. His assist percentage, his turnover control, his percentile ranks in pick and roll, all of it paints the picture of a guard who raises the baseline for every lineup he touches. For Brunson, that's a reduced playmaking burden and more open shots. For Towns, it's easier catch and shoot threes and more consistent entry feeds. For the bench, it's stable offensive management and fewer wasted possessions. For the entire system, it's a passing hub that connects the drive and kick principles the Knicks already leaned on with the precision to keep turnovers low. The Knicks now have a guard who matches their identity: efficient, physical, and disciplined. Brogdon's passing has always been about seeing the right option, making the right read, and doing it without mistakes. That fits perfectly alongside Brunson's scoring gravity and Towns' shooting range, and it fills the statistical void that crushed them when Brunson sat. Stack it all together, and the picture is undeniable. Brogdon's passing record isn't flashy, but it's elite where it counts. Assist percentage, assist to turnover ratio, pick and roll efficiency, and drive and kick creation. That factual passing profile directly addresses the Knicks' biggest offensive gaps. It lifts Brunson, it unlocks Towns, and it stabilizes the bench. That's the real value, and the stats prove it.